Let's do it live on a Tuesday edition.
You're up.
Great, Z. How you living, buddy?
I'm doing fine. Sun's out. It's nice. Look at Business Gibbe over here, looking good in studio.
Give me a rundown. I'm not in studio with you. Give me the
I know.
outfit. What are we talking about? What's Business Gibbe in?
Is a beautiful button-down green with a checkered pattern on it. He was all business.
Just wearing a shirt.
We had a meeting earlier today. He brought out a notebook.
It's just a shirt.
He brought out a
There
notebook.
were meetings.
There was a meeting, and he brought out a notebook
Meetings?
for that meeting. And we
I'm just
took
trying to get
notes.
everybody's schedule together
He was
here.
trying to get organized.
Notebooks.
He was very nice, though. After we had the meeting, he thanked me for my time, and I said, well, I thank you for your time, Gibbe. It's very nice that I'll be together.
Were there copious notes in the notebook?
There were copious notes. Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what this is all going to look like for the next few weeks with y'all being on assignment.
Yeah. This is how it goes. There's a window here, and you have to take advantage of the window.
That's right.
That's
Then
where
it
we're
closes.
at.
When the window closes.
On those fronts. There's always a BPA option.
Except there's not.
Except there's not. What about intern radio?
I think that's
I
riveting.
don't think that's happening.
Just unleash those two? Who gets hurt?
Nobody.
Where do you want to start?
It's a long list. It's a long list of pain and suffering that could come with those two if we truly unleash them. No, the next couple of days. Like, have you ever played February golf in Ohio?
I have.
I know you have, Gibby. There's no question. You have.
I'm gonna.
See, have you ever played?
I hope to. I'm sure I have like one once. We've had some random nice February days. It's supposed to be 55 on Thursday
Yes. And then it's supposed to rain and be awful.
and be terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
but we have to bank this because we've had like really nice, pleasant weather for about 8 days a week. And when March goes to hell, we have to be reminded that we were gifted this February, this late March, early February, that's been very, very mild and lovely.
I mean, okay. I don't know where you're living.
You're not going that far?
I'm not going. No, I will not go that far. Yeah.
We are in California next week, and I was looking at the extended in the desert, and it's like 67 is all, which is brisk for there.
Yeah.
Usually,
And at night, it's going to be.
yeah.
Tonight, it's going to be even more brisk.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, have you? I actually should jump into the rundown here real quick to make sure I'm not stepping on something that. Okay, so we do have a little Super Bowl media day stuff to do. We also got our all. We're going to go up against Peter King. We've got
We're
the
gonna
most
smoke his
exciting
team.
plays for 2023. Yes, we are, because we're going to play by rules that actually make sense.
That's right.
So we'll do the offense and the defense on those types of things. We did have. I mean. This kind of feels a little bit like Lloyd Christmas. So you're saying there's a chance. Roger Goodell saying the Eagles will be the home team for the NFL's inaugural Brazil game. It will be on the first Friday of the NFL season going into Week 1 weekend. We do play them.
It just feels. What?
This is what I wanted for you. Is to
I
run
would love
amok
to
in
go to Brazil. I'm all for it. I would be totally
Yeah.
fine to go to Brazil. I just don't think it's in the mix for us. It just feels. It doesn't feel like something that's going to be real for us because it's week 1. It's Friday. Week 1's typically division as much as they can. Now there are some exceptions because they do kind of like that Super Bowl rematch usually, but if that lines up, I don't know, man. That feels.
So with that would lead me
Unlikely.
to believe that the Super Bowl winner is going to play at home on Thursday. And then this would be they're actually going to play a game on a Friday.
They
Next
will.
weekend. I read this first Friday, but it's not Wednesday. It's actually the actual Friday of the first weekend.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something that the NFL has gone against. You know, they've always tried to stay away from Fridays. I mean, the Black Friday game this past year that they debuted. But otherwise, they really tried to stay out of it because of high school football.
There's just no fear.
Not anymore. Now we're
There's
just,
there's no consideration.
no. We're just on a full-on cash grab.
Yeah, I think I wonder if it also has to do with the travel, right? Because you don't want to award somebody a bye. How far is it? Where's this game going to be played? Is this in
Sao
where? Is
Paulo,
this-
Brazil.
Sao Paulo. Okay, all right. Which is the capital, correct?
No.
Sao Paulo?
No.
No.
Uno?
Rio?
Brasilia.
Brasilia is the capital. I would have went Sao Paulo for sure as the capital.
Yeah, same.
Brazil. All right. So he said it so emphatically.
He did.
By the way, Uno, what did you say your personal best was in the 100?
11.5.
All right. I was at Green Middle School on Saturday for youth basketball, and the personal record of the middle school kid was 11.3.
Man.
He's going
That
places.
seems smoking.
Yeah, he's really good.
That kid, the guy, it could have been 20 years ago, but I mean, maybe he already went places. Could be.
It feels like he's
Could very
going.
well be.
It feels like he's going somewhere.
Are we for? That's flying. Do we have? Where are we on Brazil? There's a big economy down there, and I think you want it. It's kind of an untapped. We haven't been in there. What's it been since like 1970?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'd love to be there. I think that it is. Yeah, you're right. It's big. It was a great way to describe what's going down in Brazil. I like it. I'd love to go. I'd be thrilled. That would be the number one destination that you could play internationally, in my opinion.
It's actually because of the time zone. It's far less challenging than others.
It's 2 hours, and it's Brazil.
Yeah. In my mind's eye, it feels like a place I would enjoy a lot.
I'm getting a phone call from Brad Melland. Should I answer it on air?
I'm like, what is that noise?
The
we do
legend.
a show.
He waves to us every day.
He does. I'll say, I can't answer. On the air, Mr. Melland.
Yeah, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Is it an 8-hour flight though? How long's the flight to Brazil?
It's got to be for us.
I mean, if we
Yeah.
were like hopping on the charter and going, I am not, because I don't want this. I'm sure it's probably going to happen. Melon's calling me now.
He is?
Yeah.
So what does he want?
I don't know.
Answer
Text
it.
him. I'm not answering it.
Answer
I'm
it
putting
on
it in
air.
the air.
It's Brad Melland, the equipment
So
manager of the year.
all right, so 27 different airlines that fly from the United States to Brazil. The most popular route is from Miami, of course, to Sao Paulo. On average, the flight takes 12 hours and 26 minutes.
Oh, baby.
Is that like a connecting?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just what it says on average.
Maybe there aren't any.
12 hours, 10 minutes. From us, it would be 12 hours, 10 minutes if we were to go direct. So we would. So 12 hours, 10 minutes. I had no idea.
That's
Would
a
you have had
long
that?
flight.
No, I did not have that.
I mean,
I mean, that's significantly further than Europe.
yes. Yeah, that's not ideal. My worry is this. And this is strictly from a technical aspect, behind the scenes. I don't
Yeah.
want to be the guinea pig for this
This
game.
is what he's worried about. This is seriously for real. That's what he said earlier. He's like, nobody's done.
I don't want to be the
broadcast-
guinea pig for this.
You don't think anybody's ever broadcasted on the radio out of this stadium that we're going to play in Sao Paulo? Like
I'm
they
not
haven't had a
I'm
major
not so sure, Z.
Brazil soccer game there.
Knowing
I would
what,
imagine, a football
knowing
game.
2 years ago, what they went through in Germany to get a game on.
This is what I'm saying.
Like,
is
it is a lot
If we
to
could
do
go
it.
into Twickenham, and Jim and I, when I had not done anything, could come in there and do a broadcast from the crowd without
Segura,
monitors or
Segura,
anything.
Do you have any
we could do
idea
it.
the amount of work that went into getting that on the air? We were at the stadium
Okay.
for 9
All right.
hours on Saturday.
I'd like to take this-
Spano and I
I'd like
trying
to-
to get it working.
I'd like to take this moment
All
to
right.
acknowledge Jason Gibbs and Dave Spano for their hard work to get the broadcast at Twickenham Stadium on the air from the crowd without monitors and really no
Yep.
sight line to the
Nothing.
scoreboards.
Nothing.
So,
Yeah.
flying blind, but we were on because of Jason Gibbs and Dave Spano. Thank
that's
you.
right.
More Spano than
Well, I would just say this. Just doing a little quick recon on Sao Paulo, 22 million in the metro.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Major monster
city.
metropolis.
Major
Like that's
city.
got to be obviously it's got to be the biggest city in Brazil. It's got to be the biggest city in South America.
Buenos Aires, maybe, would be the only one I could
22
think.
million?
I don't know. I don't know how they're rolling down there. That's the only one that even comes to mind as being having a
Sao
chance.
Paulo's 1, Buenos Aires is 2, 15, Rio is 13.5, Bogota, Colombia. Now we're talking, baby.
Now we're talking.
Jeez.
If we could go play a game
Gerard
in,
is
in
an expert.
Medellin, let's go.
Of course he is. Let's get to Bogota,
It's the
baby.
first person I heard
let's
from
get that
last
done.
night when all this started breaking.
Gerard was
He's
excited.
fired up to
Gerard's
go.
like, hello.
Oh my!
Naturally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is. It's far and away it's 6 million bigger than Buenos Aires,
Man,
Sao Paulo. That's your spot.
that's the spot.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So are we playing abroad or what?
I don't know. I mean, we're clearly an option to play in London. We're clearly an option to play in Sao Paulo. Whether or not
I
the
see
NFL
no
will select
scenario.
us remains to be
I see
seen.
no scenario where they would open with us on a Friday night against the Eagles in Brazil. This
We
doesn't
do
feel
draw
like what they would do.
ratings. We are a ratings draw. That is
Everybody is.
indisputable. Well, everybody is, but the Browns truly
Here's what's
are.
going to happen.
It's going to be like the Giants.
If they really want to deliver, this is the first time they've been in this market since the 70s.
Yeah, you send the Cowboys, right?
Well, but they've already announced the Eagles. So the Eagles are the
Yeah, but
the top bill. So I think, yeah, Cowboys would be the no-brainer. But, like, you could send the Super Bowl loser.
if they play them,
Well, yeah, I would assume they're playing the Niners. It feels like that's become like a they sort that out situation. Like how the Patriots played the Colts all those years.
it comes down to whether or not they match up in the division or if they match up in the standings. Did the Eagles win their division?
No.
No, right, because they went on the road and were not good.
Cowboys won that division.
Cowboy. So we could.
All right,
match
here's
up
your
with them.
opponents.
They have the
Here's your
NFC
opponents.
South.
You can play you got us, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Packers, the Steelers. Okay, so Packers Steelers would certainly make a lot of sense. Cowboys would as well if they want to take a divisional game. Then it's Bucks, Ramit, Ravens, Bengals, and Saints. It sounds like they're taking a home game though from Philly.
Yes.
They are.
Because they have.
Oh yeah,
it
this
will
is
be.
definitely
So-
this is a home game
Okay,
from Philly.
so it'll be either us, the Steelers, the Packers, the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Falcons. It's
probably not gonna be the
Giants,
Jags.
or Cowboys.
Probably cross the Jags off.
Although the Jaguars, there are actual Jaguars in Brazil,
There are, but
Fearsome
they're already
beasts.
playing a couple of London games, right?
London. Okay, so they're probably out.
Yeah.
You're not sending them Carolina. That would be a disaster. I don't
And
think
if
you'd
I'm
send them
Philly, I'm not giving up a divisional game at home to play a
So
neutral
my-
site.
Atlanta. So I think it'll be the Packers then.
I think it's Packers, Steelers, or us.
That's kind of the only ones because they're not going to go NFC South, I don't think.
Right.
Unless there's some sort of trade scenario where Atlanta lands a dude at quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. But it feels like one of those three, either us, the Steelers, or the Packers. But aren't with Billy and Rod, aren't we? I mean, they wouldn't send us on the road first 2 weeks, right?
They sure could. We've done it before.
We have. That sucked.
Yeah. It's not ideal. I don't think it's going to be us.
All right. So that leaves Steelers or Packers.
I'm fine with that. Send the pukers down there.
Send the pukers.
They actually, in all fairness, Pittsburgh gets some monster numbers from their Espanol broadcasts, from their Spanish broadcasts.
They've won 6 Super Bowls. So, yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah,
they are one of the main name brands. Yeah.
so like I know that there is a very big following in South America, Mexico, and
That'd be a hell of a thing to take two Pennsylvania teams and play them in Brazil.
Yeah. It would be
I didn't
wild.
even think about that. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if
That
they
certainly
wouldn't.
would be.
That makes me think it's going to be Green Bay because they probably
That was-
want that Philly Pittsburgh atmosphere in a home game.
I would imagine that'd be something like that Philly would say, hey, you can't take
Dallas.
divisional games and you can't take Pittsburgh because we've been waiting to get them here.
I could see them sending the New York Giants down there because you know you're going to get the New York market, at least the rating, no matter what, is going to look good.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
They're not going to send the commies down there.
No, they're not sending the commies. They're not sending the Cowboys. So,
So Giants.
all right. So we're to
Packers,
Green
us,
Bay and Giants.
and us.
Green Bay or Giants. I don't think we're going down. I don't think
we
they're
are
going to put
either.
us on the road first 2 weeks.
I'd like to though. As I said before, I think it'd be very fun.
Knowing the way you guys travel, you'd have to leave like probably July 28th to get there. Just go straight from the Greenbrier. just go Greenbrier to to Brazil to get acclimated. I mean, you got a rainforest you got to get acclimated to. Probably takes 2 weeks to get your
It
lungs
would.
in the
It
right
would. I
spots.
think it would definitely put a damper on Labor Day weekend.
Do you think I could do a day trip to the Amazon?
Yeah. You're going to be there a week ahead.
I'd like to do a day trip. As long as I can do that, I'm in.
Bo, I
Yeah.
think there's something to that. Like, when they first started doing the London games, like teams had to go on Monday because there was
Oh, for
PR,
sure.
there was photo shoots, there was media,
Don't you-
there was special stuff. I mean, by the time we went to London, it was already a thing, so we didn't have to go till Thursday night. But I remember playing the Vikings one year, and it was on a Sunday, and they left Monday morning to play the following Sunday.
Let's not get crazy. There doesn't feel like any reason to get
That's
crazy.
what's happened. So, you remember this. You guys are old enough to remember this. I remember the 85 Bears, being a very young kid and seeing the 85 Bears a year after they won the Super Bowl, went and played, I want to say, the Cowboys in London. And you're right, Gibby. They were there all week. There was pictures in SI of Jim McMahon next to those Beefeater guys.
Oh, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you may have to do, like, PR for a week. So, I mean, I was tongue-in-cheek saying just go straight from the Greenbrier. But, like, you could go, like, you might fly out there on a
It would
Saturday,
definitely
give
put a
yourself
damper
5,
on
6 days.
It would put a damper on Labor Day weekend plans. Normally,
Yeah.
that's our weekend, like to catch our
Yes.
breath after a crazy
No,
month of
not anymore.
preseason
It's not
football.
happening. Let's just calm down. Okay?
I would also say,
And by
for
the way,
both
we'd
of
go
you
down
guys,
there on like Wednesday. We'd be fine. We're safe.
you would not go down there.
It's
on
a
Wednesday to play
12-hour
Friday on
flight.
A 12-hour flight? No
No,
chance.
that's nobody's. No.
You need a week advance.
And
I
it's-
think
and
both
it's
of you
hot.
guys. Do you guys remember there was a show on NBC in the 90s called Friends? And it was about these 6
remember.
people in New York City who would go to a coffee shop and kind of live together in apartments across the hall. And one of the main storylines of that series was the one guy thought they were on a break and the girl didn't think they were on a break, or weren't they on a break. I think that would be the key for you guys in your relationships if you were to go to Brazil for like 2 weeks, would be just a little break. Just get down there and live a little bit.
We'll let you
gets
negotiate
hurt?
that.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the wives. He's
yeah.
safe.
Yeah, we're fine.
He's safe.
Totally.
No, nothing to get. You're fine. Enjoy yourself. Spread your wings, boys. Live a little.
I don't
Get
think
hurt.
that's an option.
That's not in the cards.
I don't think so.
I did not know that. On a somber note, I did not know that Toby Keith was ill.
Same.
And I so then to wake up this morning and see that he had passed was a little bit of a hit. I was unaware that he. I guess he'd been battling cancer for a long time. Huh,
2
Gibby?
years. Yes, he was diagnosed in 2022. I knew it wasn't good at that time, but then you didn't hear anything, and you were like, okay, well maybe things are getting better, and obviously it was not the case. So
Not the case. Just 62.
Legend.
Prolific songwriter. Yeah. And the other thing I want to say there was a time where like people don't realize how many songs he wrote, and he owned a lot of his music. So he had amassed a fortune. Like it was like him and Garth Brooks and George Strait, like $700 million net worth guys,
Yeah.
where he actually owned his stuff. So that was a very, very big part of it. All right, lots to get to. We got a little Super Bowl Media Day. We will put together our team over the last 40 years or so to go up against Peter King's. It will not go well from him. You'll hear from the commissioner
Smoke
of
them.
the league. It's not
By,
going to go
by the
well,
way,
at
real
all.
quick, talking about Toby Keith, in 2005, he
Okay.
entered into a joint venture with music exec Scott Borchetta to launch Big Machine Records. They were the first record label to sign one Taylor Swift.
There you go.
There you go. There it is.
That'll do it. So
That'll
well,
put you
there
on the
go.
map financially.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be upwards of $1 billion by the time he was all done, by the time he passed yesterday. So great. Smart, forward thinking on his side of things. Lots to get to. Fun program for you. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Here for my great friends and my team at
You guys are up.
Now introducing new Ascend composite clad siding featuring a beautiful deep grain look. 20 available colors on that. Keep that just installed look for a lifetime with this low maintenance siding. Plus, with Renew's price match guarantee, you can be assured you receive the best price for your exterior project even after you buy it. Renew Home Exterior, superior products and superior service. Visit RenewEstimate.com for more on that. Super Bowl Media Day was yesterday. This doesn't seem like quite the circus it once was.
I still think it's a circus, but I think that it's not. It's people. I don't know where the content is. Uno and I spent half the morning just trying to find a couple sound bites that were relevant.
Did you hear Kyle talking about Brock Purdy? Is that one of the ones you got?
No.
It sounded like
Clearly we missed one.
It sounded like Kyle's talking about how it's actually a really good story if you can find it. He's talking about Brock Purdy and how Jed York came in and asked him how the quarterbacks were doing, and his answer to Jed York was the number 3 is the best quarterback, which he's like, your owner never wants to hear that, so he very much remembers that conversation. But he went on a little bit of a not a rant, but pontificated a bit, and it felt like, as you listened to him, that he had maybe had a happy hour and was, just regaling his boys with tales. It's a great clip. It's definitely all over Twitter.
They didn't do it till 9 o'clock.
Well, the whole West Coast thing, it's not ideal.
Well, and they're doing it for TV.
Right.
So they're doing it NFL Network, so it airs at 9 o'clock prime time in the East. That's 7 o'clock Vegas.
Right.
6. 3-hour difference.
Is Vegas always 3, or is that one that's sometimes 2?
Like it's Mountain, isn't
Vegas
it?
is Pacific? I think it's Mountain Time, Gibby.
I think it's Mountain Time.
You said it emphatically. You've been there more recently than me, but I always thought it was the same time zone as Montana.
It might be. Yeah, it's 10:25 in Vegas. 3 hours.
There it is.
So do they not do the daylight savings time, or are they always 3? Maybe they're always one of the always.
I think that's Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. Okay, man. All right, very good. Good job out of you, Gibby. How can we doubt your Vegas knowledge? Of course, you would have the Vegas knowledge.
Exactly.
You're ready to go. Yeah, the late night nature of it, not ideal. So who would have been ahead of Purdy at that time? Obviously Lance, which is the one that would have got him in the most hot water, and then who would have been the other one?
Garoppolo.
Is it Darnold already?
No, it would have been, I think.
Jimmy Grapes?
No, well, Purdy's first year, Garoppolo was there his first year. Yeah, it had to be Garoppolo, Lance, and Purdy. What? What, Uno?
You could turn on your mic, Uno.
Griff was laughing because I hit my on button 3 times to make sure you guys knew that it was Jimmy Garoppolo, and then you'd set it, and I turned it off. But I hit the button like 3 times.
You're ready to jump in.
Yes, Griff just thought it was funny. The noise that the button
Griff's on a
making.
heater. Let's just be
That
honest
was the
about
year that it was supposed to be Lance. Garoppolo was running around the facility, remember,
right,
practicing
on other
by himself.
fields. Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's the way that shook out. So there you go. Have you guys ever been to a Super Bowl Media Day?
No.
No, I know you have.
I've been to 4. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Unless it used to be it used to be a thing, because what they used to do is they would bring the football teams and the entertainment to the media days. So you would see, like in a press con where you'd have all of these, every NFL player would be talking. So too would Mariah Carey or Paul McCartney or whoever was singing the various anthems and God Bless Americas and halftimes and all of those things. And so you would get the most ridiculous cross section of humanity, because you would get all of the sports world.
Yep.
You would get international reporters from all over the place. Then you would get Entertainment Tonight. Like, I remember Slater from Saved by the Bell cruising, running around into him. Like Entertainment Tonight, Nancy O'Dell. They're cruising around, tracking down interviews, working on their non-regional diction. So all these things are happening. And you got in the meantime, you've got guys like JT the Brick with the Viking hat, or Vic the Brick with the Viking hat, the LA Sport. Is that, which one is it? Is it Vic the Brick or JT the Brick?
JT
one
the
of them
Brick,
wore
the
the
radio
Viking
show.
hat. Yeah, but there's another guy. I think it's Vic the Brick out of LA who wears the Viking hat.
Oh, okay.
He would dress up like a Viking every year at the Super Bowl Media Day. He has horns and a huge beard. Get the Griffs on it.
Grill.
I think it's Vic.
Malensic, you're now considered a
around.
Griffs.
The Griffs? No. He's Uno.
He's Uno. Get the griffs on it. I think it's Vic the Brick. Would walk around in a Viking hat, is the way I remember it. So I remember that specifically. I was at the one when the TV Azteca reporter was in a wedding dress.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get people to marry her. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And then my first one, I remember Inez Sainz very specifically. She was a TV Azteca, like 2001. That would have been the one in New Orleans, so January of 2002. A wee lad who had never experienced anything in the NFL world, and that was my first experience with it. And she was ready. And then I remember running into Sierra.
Vic the Brick, 71
Yeah.
years old, best known as a former co-host of the Loose Cannons, a sports radio talk show airing nationally on Fox Sports Radio, known for his eccentric behavior like
Yep.
wearing fur caps and robes and writing Lakers haiku poems to read on air.
Yep. Viking hat. This is him. Handlebar mustache, Viking hat. Yeah, that's him.
A flurry of activity.
There is. There's a lot going on.
Well, go ahead and describe it. I've just described Super Bowl Media Day. Have a couple of minutes. Stretch your legs.
Luminaries.
Tell us everything that's happening there.
Luminaries sprinting.
I feel like this is the last day. There's a large contingent leaving tomorrow for Vegas,
Okay.
and I feel like there's a lot of meetings going on.
Feels like it.
Notepads?
There are a lot of notepads. A lot of notepads. And then, there's a lot of scouts
Yes.
in the building.
Back from the Senior Bowl.
Back from the Bulls.
Yeah. But I think the Media Day's toned
So,
down a little bit. 'Cause
all
I
right, so-
don't know how you credential everybody now.
There-
Because how do you credential a TikToker?
There were 2,000 media credentials for this last night. But,
Okay.
but, the
Maybe it
content just wasn't there wasn't a lot. You didn't see a lot. I've gone through a lot of the social media. I've gone through
Yeah.
some of the – it just wasn't like it was in the past. I
think people try to avoid making news. I think that's kind of one of the philosophies.
But I also
But it used to be the other way.
Yes.
yeah.
It was look at me, look at me, look at me.
Do you have Kittle talking about WrestleMania?
We had that discussion. It wasn't a great soundbite.
He loves The Rock.
Yes, he does.
Rock got booed last night, right?
So what the WWE did, which is actually I think very smart, is they did this knowing full well that this is going to draw more money having The Rock there, and it is also, and The Rock's probably fine with it, and my guess is he could end up turning heel, which would be amazing, is that they knew this would turn Cody Rhodes into kind of what Daniel Bryan was when the people just were like they'd had it and they just demanded Daniel Bryan in the main event. And so I think we could see my guess, if I were to say right now what's going to happen is that Roman will beat Rock, Cody will beat Seth Rollins if that's the direction they go, and then at SummerSlam they'll unify the two belts and Cody will beat Roman Reigns. It should happen at WrestleMania, agreed, but I think it'll be just
So The
fine at
Rock is
SummerSlam.
back?
Rock's back.
Full time or just for Mania?
I think he's part of his thing to come on the board. He's got to wrestle like a certain number of dates a year. So I think he'll be around more.
Huh. Wild. Guy's dipping his toe in a lot of lagoons, man. The Rock. He's got a lot going on.
Where is WrestleMania this year?
Philadelphia. That's drivable.
Drivable. Could be cold.
Yeah.
When is it?
April 6th and 7th, I want to say.
It's outdoors at the link.
Yeah.
That's
Woo.
a risky endeavor.
Woo.
It could be a little bit chilly.
Yep.
What do they do in those scenarios? They put heaters around the ring or what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you've been to a bunch of them. Haven't you been to one when it was bad weather or they were all indoors?
I've been to some outside, but what they would have is over the ring, there's a huge central, massive thing that's covered. So the ring itself would be covered, I guess. But
Okay.
they've been pretty lucky that has not been a problem, is what I would say. Yeah.
Very, very. We do have some audio from Super Bowl Media Day, which was last night in Las Vegas. Here's NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who did his State of the State address on the NFL refereeing and what he saw this season.
The level of scrutiny is at the highest I've ever seen it. And that's part of our popularity. I understand that. I think our officials do a great job. they are superior. But at the end of the day, no one's perfect. We have to continue to try to get better. We have to use technology where we can to try to improve their performance, let them use technology to make sure they get the right answer. But I think they do an incredible job, but we're going to keep working to get better.
It's called the eye in the sky.
And it doesn't lie.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Could
I think
fix
you
a
can do
lot
two
of
things.
problems.
You can do eye in the sky, and the other thing you can do is you can just have some common sense rules changes, like the fumble near the goal line.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you do that, and then you're not going. Then it's not that big of a deal. I would think the eye in the sky would speed up the whole thing. The
Eye
whole
in the
process.
sky. Refs are full-time employees. You don't get side jobs. You're a full-time employee.
That's it. Yes.
The other thing that's crazy is like the idea that there's not a chip in the ball to say the idea that some old guy's running in from a sideline and going, oh, no, it's right here. How many times have you seen the guy come in from the near sideline and the far sideline running on a different parallel line?
Yep.
Because they're not
And
going
it's
to
like-
run. It's hard to run.
They don't have it.
Yeah.
And one might see it one way and one sees it another. Put a chip in the ball. The idea that we still have a chain like determining 10 yards?
Yes.
Like, come on. You got to get to here. The nose of the put two chips, one in each end of the ball.
Agreed.
Solved. This isn't hard. It's very. We have the technology. I promise you. A couple of players talked as well. Among those, Brock Purdy. Here was his approach to the Super Bowl.
The bottom line is, like, life isn't about you. Like, that's what I believe. Being a part of something bigger than yourself. You get wrapped up in getting all the glory and the fame and the status. I feel like that's a shallow life, and that can fade away pretty quickly. So for me, it's obviously, we're playing the Super Bowl. I'm very honored and thankful. I want to win a championship for this organization, but more than anything, I'm trying to just serve my guys on this team well and love on them well, and the whole organization and everyone in my life. That's how I view it.
Likeable kid, man.
Very much so.
I think
Very much so.
starting today, you'll start getting – because I feel like yesterday was a travel day for a lot of people. Like, teams got in on Sunday. I feel like most of the media and, like, the celebs of the world got in yesterday.
Yeah.
Today you're starting to see all the shows that are live out there starting to have their guests. Radio Row's starting to heat up. We'll start getting some sound bites.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. There is no place on the planet where the prospect for more issues than this one.
Yes.
I mean, this place it's Sin City for a reason. It's set up.
Yes.
Like if you are like, you imagine like Playmaker, like those type of humans,
Of course I can.
paratrooping
imagine
into
a Playmaker.
Vegas
Yes.
for this week.
These are my
Yes.
friends,
These are my old friends.
old friends.
Some old friends.
Lots of old friends in that.
Life is good.
Lots going on there.
Every level.
It's got a chance to be an all-time Super Bowl on every.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. So I think the NFL is just praying. I mean, they avoided Vegas forever in every way. Then they put a franchise there. Then you put a Super Bowl there. And now you got to hope you get through this week relatively unscathed.
There's it. So as employees, we were given the updated, here are your marching orders if you're going to the Super Bowl this week regarding casinos
Sure.
and anything along those lines. There are strict rules if you're an NFL employee. In the media workroom, right in the middle, slot machines.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
What are we doing?
So
here?
there's rules, but then there's not rules.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
It's Vegas.
yeah, okay. How many people are unemployed by next week based on violations of rules that maybe they didn't even know or realize they
There's
were
gotta be a
breaking?
grace.
I don't
The
think
NFL
there
needs to take a
is.
break. I'm telling you guys, take a break going to Brazil. Take a break from the rules for a week in Vegas. Like,
Yeah. Everybody calm down.
see no
Did
evil,
you
hear
see
no
that
evil.
memo?
Who gets
I
it?
saw it.
Yeah.
They just relax.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to come
Just
out
slow
and
down.
say the opposite, that like, okay,
Yeah, they should
you're
have.
here, everything's cool, everything's copacetic.
Not the
Not.
case.
They did not say that.
The idea that you couldn't play blackjack, as if that has anything to do with anything.
Well, because you could
If
be
you wanted
sitting
to.
at the table, you could talk to somebody.
As you could in Indy at the Combine. Like, come on. What are we doing?
Agreed.
All right. Mike Zimmer also interviewing for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator job, a job that was just opened by Dan Quinn taking the job with the Commies. So there you go on that. All right, coming up next, we will create our all-time team. This is our 40-year team from 84 to 24. This is in response to Peter King's team that he put out. We will do that coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Part of one of the most passionate fan bases
You're up.
in the league. Join Next Gen STM, presented by Ticketmaster. Official waitlist for your Cleveland Browns. Being a Next Gen STM is the best chance to become a season ticket member in future seasons. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/nextgen to reserve your spot today. Yesterday, Peter King, we went over his 53-man roster for his time covering the league, which he's in his 40th year covering the league. It was a very odd way to put a team together in that it made no sense.
It's almost like he doesn't know how to put the team together.
Yeah, it was strange. Like the numbers were not numbers didn't make sense. So
Chris Hogan's
you had
on the
said-
team, folks.
Yeah,
Raina
did
Thompson
have-
is on the team.
that's right.
You can't get
They
over
will
that
not be
one.
on ours.
No,
They will not be on ours. Maurice Carthon was on the team.
Maurice Carthon's on the team.
So, all right. Here are questions I'm going to ask you, and then we can set the ground rules. Are we making a team of the last 40 years to play in today's NFL? I think so, right?
I mean, this team could play in any NFL that I've put.
I
that we've
understand,
put
but in
together.
other words, we don't need a fullback, do we?
I do not have a fullback. No.
Okay, that's my question. So we don't need a fullback. The second question I have for you is, do we? What is the breakdown that we want to do here, numbers wise? Do we want to go 25, 25?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. All right, with 3 specialists. All right. Let's do it then. Let's start on the offense. You want to start glamour first, or do you want to build to the glamour?
You do it how you tell me what you want to do.
Let's build to the glamour.
Okay.
Giddy up.
We'll start on the offensive line.
Okay.
The big boys up front.
Okay.
How many? My guess is you did 8 offensive linemen.
Correct.
So 3 tackles, 3 guards, 2 centers.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So I had that right. So at tackle, left tackle.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Joe Thomas. Yes.
Yeah. That's clearly it. Then we got to have Munoz, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Out of the vaunted
Now this-
AFC North.
Is this Ogden?
I went Walter Jones. More Pro Bowls, more first-team All-Pros. He's the guy that the Hoff reveres above all.
Okay.
He's the one who inducted the Hoff. I looked up Walter Jones, Jonathan Ogden, and Orlando Pace were the names that
those
came
were the
to
3.
mind for me.
Good ones.
And Walter Jones is the most decorated in terms of being first-team All-Pros.
I bet you most people would not have had that. I would be among most people. I would have thought Ogden would have been number 1 on that.
What years did
So-
Walter Jones play?
He's on those Alexander teams, those Sean Alexander.
In
It
the
was
early
him and Steve
2000s?
Steve
He's
Hutchinson.
a Florida
wa-
State guy.
Steve
He's an
Hutchinson
FSU
was
guy.
next to him. So Jonathan Ogden, I'll give you the rundown right here. Jonathan Ogden, 11-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro. He does have 5 second-team All-Pros as well.
So 9 total.
9 total. Let's see if Walter Jones can match that. I was just looking at firsts. Walter Jones, 9-time Pro Bowl, 5 first team, and 2 second team. So I could be open to Ogden.
I think we might have to go Ogden, unless we just want to keep a Raven out of it. And the bitterness of that's the first
Walter
draft
Jones
after they
played
stole the
for
team.
11 years. He finished his career making the Pro Bowl in 8 straight years and being a first or second team All-Pro each of the last 8 years he played. So it sounds like he quit very much at the peak of his powers.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it. We don't need to put a Raven in there.
Right. Yeah, we don't need to.
Ogden
All right.
also played a lot longer. Like Jones did all of that. I don't know. They basically played about the same. I'm fine with either way. They're both quite good.
All right, they are. Those are the guys that it was going to be Jones, Ogden, and Pace were the ones you're choosing between.
Yep.
So I'm fine with Jones. Hoff reveres Jones. Hoff's on the team. He can
Yeah,
make the selection.
he reveres.
Offensive guard.
Okay.
There are 3. I think you mentioned one of them, right? Hutchinson.
I know Hutchinson is not on the team.
Okay.
At least as I have it constructed. I can look up his accolades
All right, go
right
ahead.
now.
I can look up him while you give me your guys.
I got Randall McDaniel,
Oh yeah.
7-time first-team All-Pro. Hutchinson's a 5-time first-team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler. He and Walter Jones were pretty elite together. I've got as well Larry Allen and Bruce Matthews.
So Bruce is iconic. I have a little recollection of him, but I think he's probably the correct guy, right? So Bruce Matthews, Larry Allen, and who is your third? Randall McDaniel.
Randall McDaniel. Randall McDaniel's 7 first-teamers. Larry Allen's 6. Now, the other guy that probably, if this is where the debate comes in, and maybe we replace Larry Allen with this guy, is Zach Martin. Zach Martin's been in the league for 10 years. He has 9 9 Pro Bowls. He has got 7 first-team All-Pros and 2 seconds. So maybe he goes in for Larry Allen.
Here's what I would say, though, because this is our team.
Yeah.
And Larry Allen, to me, I just think of Summerall and Madden and him being able to eat a lot.
I love Larry Allen. I remember Randall McDaniel, and you're right. I'd be fine. Bruce Matthews, didn't he also play some center?
He did. I think that's right.
Standby.
Maybe we could move
But he was all in Houston, so that was a.
Yeah.
If you want Zach Martin on there, I think he deserves it.
I mean, he's pretty good. Maybe we'll go McDaniel. We'll move. Did Matthews play center at all?
Started 99 games as a left guard, 87 as a center.
All right, perfect.
67 as a right guard, and 22 as a right tackle. Also 17 as a left tackle.
All right, so
he literally played every position.
So he's on. We
He's
need
on
him
the
in
team.
the lineup because he can play anything.
Yep. So we'll make him
move him to center.
Move him to center. So he'll be
/ swing. He can play anything.
So he and Jason Kelsey would be the centers. The other person that I remembered from my youth, and I looked up, and actually his accolades are better than I even thought, was Dermontti Dawson.
Yeah.
The great Steeler. Dermontti Dawson played 12 years in the league, was a 6-time first-team All-Pro. 6 straight
Kelsey.
from 93 to 98. I don't think that beats Kelsey.
Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey doesn't have 6 first teams.
Yeah, he does. 7 Pro
He
Bowls,
does.
6 first teams. Yeah. Kelsey's been first team 6 of the last 7 years.
Wow. Okay.
By the way, Bruce Matthews, of course, played every position on the offensive line. Also was the long snapper on field goals, PATs, and punts.
Well, then maybe
Perfect.
he gets us a spot. Maybe he can long snap. But we have to have the best long snapper. This is an elite team. We should have the specialist. Okay, so that's our line then. So Joe Thomas, Anthony Munoz, Walter Jones, Randall McDaniel, Larry Allen, Zach Martin, Bruce Matthews, Jason Kelsey.
It's pretty good.
Dermontti
I
Dawson's
like it.
pretty
no
good
Steelers,
too.
no Ravens.
Yep.
No Steelers, no Ravens.
Nope.
All right, tight end. You got 2?
I've got 4.
You've got 4 tight ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so you get Gronk, Kelsey.
Yep.
You go Gronk, Kelsey, Sharp, and Gonzalez.
Yep. Like, we are going to smoke his team. It's a joke. He's going to be trying out Mark Bavaro.
So
We're
the
trying
only
out
thing I'm
Tony
curious about,
Gonzalez.
from a numbers standpoint, so then how many receivers do you have?
6.
6 receivers? Yeah. And that's 18, 20. Do you have 4 backs?
Yep.
Okay.
And 3
All right.
quarterbacks. 25.
All right, so we got Sharp, Kelsey, 2 Kelsey. That's unbelievable. 2 kids from Cleveland Heights.
It's unreal.
On the all-NFL team of the last 40 years. Brother, that's ridiculous. Gonzalez,
And
Gronk. Yeah.
He has Gronk and Mark Bavaro.
The only,
Again,
Gates is the
I
only-
just wonder if this is like
is Gates
this was a
better than
story.
we
These
remember?
were guys that he covered that were good.
The question is Gates and Shannon Sharp. Tony Gonzalez is.
That's what I was going to say.
is-
Gates or Sharp.
Tony Gonzalez is beyond reproach. Antonio Gates, I think we remember looking
Just
this up.
3-time All-Pro.
Yep.
8-time Pro Bowl, 3-time All-Pro for Gates.
Hold on. Yep. And only 2,000-yard seasons. I would have thought more than that.
Yeah. 4-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl, 3 times Bowl for Shannon. No, you got the right ones.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, running backs.
I've got 4.
Barry,
Yep.
Falk.
Yep.
Did you go LT?
No, I went Adrian Peterson,
Okay.
and
Another one from yesterday.
and I went Terrell Davis just because he was so dominant. But I'm fine with LaDainian if you want LaDainian. So we have 2 guys who are dual threat, and then 2 guys who are runners.
Yeah, I don't know that we need. I love Terrell Davis. I mean, he's really ridiculous. I think I would go for the little bit more versatility.
So would you take LaDainian or would you take Christian McCaffrey? LaDainian Tomlinson's, at this point, his longevity, like when he was the man, it was a pretty long run of being the man. Like you think about it from a fantasy football standpoint.
Well, I was going to say, he's probably the most valuable fantasy football player ever. He's only a 3-time All-Pro.
5-time
5
Pro
Pro
Bowl.
Bowls.
Yeah. So, but he led the league in rushing, twice. He led the league in rushing touchdowns thrice. He led the league in total yards once, led the league in total touchdowns once. Let's see where that compares with McCaffrey, who obviously did it significantly fewer. 2-time All-Pro. McCaffrey has led the league in rushing once. That was this year. Led the league in total yards twice. Led the league in total touchdowns twice. I think LaDainian is probably
over Terrell.
I would have had him as more. I would have thought he would have had more first-team All-Pros, though.
I think there are just a lot of good players then. Like Marshall Faulk only has 7 first-team All-Pros.
7 Pro Bowls, you mean?
3 first-team All-Pros, 7 Pro Bowls, yeah. He was an MVP, though.
God, are we being dumb with Emmitt Smith?
I don't know.
He's 4-time All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champ, MVP in 1993 of the league.
So here's my what I
He's
would
the all-time leading rusher.
Here's
I know, like
here's what I would
he's
say.
an accumulator, but geez.
Here's what I would say. His peak was like 5 years. I think Terrell Davis has a better 5-year peak than he did. And then the other thing I would say is if the way that we're kind of composing this thing up, Barry is our home run. Like if you said you have a carry, if 10 carry, I would rather Adrian Peterson carry the ball 10 times than I would Emmitt
More
Smith.
explosive, yeah.
He's got the MVPs. He's got the rookies of the. He's got it all. He's got the 3-time led the league. His career yards per carry is significantly higher. He's got more seasons. I mean, he had a year he ran for 2,100 yards and averaged 6 yards a carry.
Adrian Peterson?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm not arguing about him at all. I was more the
And he didn't play with anybody that
Tomlinson.
Like think about the line that he played with. He being Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would take Tomlinson just because of what he is able to do as a complete back relative to Emmitt Smith.
All right, I'm fine with that. Tomlinson, Falk, Barry, Adrian Peterson.
I think it's really between Tomlinson, because I think I would take Terrell Davis as a pure runner also. I mean, LaDainian gave you basically, he had a year with 100 catches. He was north of 50 catches and 500 yards and a couple of touchdowns basically every single season.
He's a better fit for this era.
He was an MVP as well, 2006.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. All right, we have 6 receivers.
Yep.
Among those are the 2 greatest receivers of all time, in my view, Jerry Rice and Randy Moss.
Yep.
As stone cold locks. All right. Now, where do you go here? Because there's a lot of different ways.
I'll
to
tell you
view
what
this.
I did.
There's physical guys. There's accumulators. There's catch everything in their path.
This is what
We also have to keep some eye towards special teams too.
So I got Randy
Not that we need it
Moss,
much.
Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, Tyreek Hill, Devin Hester, so that he can be our returner. And then the 6th spot was a lot of different people, but when I went through just kind of quickly, T.O. was pretty impressive. In fact, he has. Do you know the Playmaker's only a one-time first-team All-Pro?
Yeah, I wouldn't have had Playmaker on there.
Larry
if
Fitzgerald is a one-time first-team All-Pro. T.O. was dominant.
How many All-Pros?
How many All-Pros for him?
T.O.'s got 5 first-team All-Pros, 6-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I don't know, only receivers that are above that I know are like Moss, Jerry, and then old receivers.
Yeah, Lance Allworth and those type of
Yeah.
cats. I do think it's I was curious, like the Colts guys, like Marvin Harrison. He was a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 8 Pro Bowls.
I just thought T.O. was more.
He's definitely more physically. I think if you're putting it like, here's the reality though. Like T.O. will be the 4th receiver on this team.
Yep.
So how does he handle that?
He's going to be the 5th receiver on this team.
Well, he'll be basically the backup for Randa and Calvin.
He's going to be
on
doing
the
push-ups,
outside.
And
in
then
his
you've got
driveway.
Jarrah, and then
Sal
you're going to
Powell
put
will be there.
Tyreek Hill in when you want
Jerry
a burner.
and Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
So
how does
that's
he
why our
can he
team is
handle that?
loaded. That's why our team smokes his team.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just wait till we get to the defense. That's where I
Is
think
there
our
anybody
team jumps out.
Like, there isn't anybody we're missing on receiver, is there? From that era?
I don't think so.
T.O. actually has more All-Pros than Randy.
Yeah.
Randy's was only in 6 Pro Bowls.
T.O. is dominant, man.
No, I remember. I remember I remember.
I was looking at Chris Carter. I was looking at,
Steve Largent?
Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Largent. Steve Largent won first-team All-Pro.
Art
Fitzgerald
Monk?
won first-team All-Pro. I mean, the thing is, with like a little bit more time,
Sterling
I
Sharp.
don't think you're Yeah, I don't think so. I think you got the right people.
Justin Jefferson, I think, could be on this team at some point if he keeps his
I'm
career
trying
going.
I'm trying to remember if we're missing some of these guys from like the late '80s when the league was so different.
Sterling
We only have
Sharp
Jerry.
had 3 first-team All-Pros, 5 Pro Bowls, and did it in basically 7 seasons. I mean,
He would have been a Hall of Famer had he not got hurt.
he should be a Hall of Famer,
'Cause
anyway, but yes.
He really didn't get a chance to play with Favre much.
You really
Like, it was
should book
Don
Peter
Mikowski.
King on this show so we can tell him how much our team would whoop his.
I'm sure he'd love that.
That'd be great. The first and last time.
He would really love that. He's been on the show before.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Marvin
so
Harrison?
Harrison's one I talked about, but I think the question would be like, do you just want like if you want everybody to get along, you take Harrison, but like T.O.'s gonna have to play some special teams for us.
Yeah,
Like, would we want his volatility in the room?
I like his physicality, though. That's for
But we've
sure.
got a lot of that.
Brandon Moss isn't tackling anybody. T.O. is a. By the way, when you get to the
Yeah,
defense,
he's a
we're not
beast.
going to need anybody on special teams. You're going to put
Okay, we're
Uncle
good.
Shannon Sharp's going to be on special teams. You're going to, and our defense is going to be loaded.
All right. You're
I
listening to WKNR 850 ESPN Cleveland, a good Karma brand station. All right. So
You know who I don't see on
then
this
we need
list? There's no Hines Ward.
No Hines Ward.
No,
None of
sure
that
not.
smiley goofball.
No.
No. All right. So quarterbacks, Montana Brady.
I have 3.
So you got Manning too.
Yep. I mean, Mahomes is tough to leave off, but I mean, we've got the 2 GOATs and then the best regular season quarterback of all time. Now, if he goes out and wins this Super Bowl and another, then he's going to push to be on this team.
You've been big on this, just to play devil's advocate. You've been big on physicality and gifts. Mahomes would certainly have that over your boy,
Over who?
Joe.
Get out of here. Stop it. Stop it. We're far from that. He's going to take Peyton Manning's spot is whose spot he's going to take. Joe Montana, all he does is win Super Bowls, never lost.
You've been all about the physicality and the measurables and the strengths and the physical beasts.
There's just something for being the coolest, most clutch guy ever.
Being the coolest. Is there any way? Did we ever get you even when Brady won like the 7th to like admit finally, or would you not?
On what? Brady?
That Brady was the greatest.
Different. You put Joe Montana on those teams, he wins all those Super Bowls, and he probably doesn't ever lose. He doesn't ever lose.
Doesn't never lose. He wins 10.
Yeah, probably 10-0.
Probably won 10 Super Bowls. The way that would have worked out.
You can't say he
All right,
wouldn't.
there you go. So there's your offense. We will do the defense coming up a little bit later in the program. Coming up next, we have the Brownie Awards for the most exciting play of the 2023 season. This will be quite a bit of fun involved in this. We will get to that coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds Tour
You're up.
Saturday, June 15th, Cleveland Browns Stadium. Tickets are on sale now. Visit clevelandbrownsstadium.com/Rolling Stones for more information. We have been tasked now to continue our Brownie Awards most exciting play from the 2023 season. Now, I'm curious. One of the things that I remember vividly about the great Jim Donovan is he had a photographic memory because of his ability that he was calling the games, and he would essentially put it into a vault, and it would be at a recall at any moment. And he can do that. It's stunning for almost any year of the Browns and any year that he had been calling games. So you, my dear friend, were a part of that this season. And I'm curious, do you remember, as you're going through this list, do you remember all of these crystallized? Because I will be candid with you.
Yeah, for
some
sure.
of these I remember upon reading, but I don't remember exactly. There are some that are just, forever remember. But there are some ones where I'm like, now, I don't remember the exact circumstances of that. Do you have that recall?
Well, ask me if there's ones you don't remember, and then I'll tell you, say if yes or no.
No, I'm just saying, as you look through this list, you're
yeah,
like,
I felt
know
like
all
I had
of
every
these.
single one of them. Yeah.
All right. Very good. So we need to take this from this is a list that the kids have put together to 20. Is there anything on this list that you think, not on this list, that you think should be?
Yeah, I added Miles' sack to ice week 1. Remember, it was 4th down. They were still kind of technically in the game. He got the sack, and then he did that big pose, and it became that big kind of iconic picture. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of, that was like, that won us week 1, and that was a big, big moment, I thought.
Okay. So the Miles walk-off sack, basically,
Yeah.
in week 1. Is there anything else?
No, I mean, you're getting into like nitpicking plays. I thought the way that the play was designed that led to the Chief long touchdown against the Jags was incredible. We've been running that goal line formation all year long, and then we ran it, and we'd always run the ball, and then we did a play action, and we hit the Chief on that one for the easy touchdown. But I mean, that wouldn't make my top 10 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 11 that I'm pretty into, maybe 12 that I'm pretty into. And then we'll see if you have similar. We'll narrow it down.
Well, I'm not going to have 16 of them. This will be a working group for me. I do not have the perfect recall of all of these. The one thing that when I saw that we were going to do this in the rundown, that to me, like, the iconic play of the season is the Miles field goal block against the Colts.
Okay, yeah, I have that. Yep.
That to me is the one. When I think back of the season, I think of the defense first, and because it was the constant. And I've just never seen anything like that. I've never seen a human being do that and be like, to win the game.
Do we have, and maybe I'm missing it, Uno, is you have Dustin Hopkins game winner against the Ravens, but do we have the game winner against the Steelers?
We might not. We can obviously include that.
Because that was a pretty sweet moment.
All right.
when
Why don't you
PTR
give
was
us your
down there.
12?
That I have that I like so far? All right.
Yeah, your 12 that are like, these 12 are in.
I think so. I've got Miles blocked field goal, Jerome Ford's long receiving touchdowns against the Jets. Flacco rolls out left, breaks out of it, throws it. Ford
Gets
runs
head
through
slapped.
5 people, gets heads. Yeah, all of that. And that was the one where you knew, okay, all right, we're going to the playoffs for sure. I had Amari's long touchdown against the Texans just because I thought there should be something from that game symbolic of Amari setting the record. I thought that was a great.
Yep.
Was that the first touchdown?
It would have been the one where they brought in that corner who hadn't played on the broadcast. I was like, we should go at that guy, and we ran that double move.
Is that
at
right down
guy.
on the? Did he get hurt on that play?
It may have been. That's why he kind of limped it a little bit. in
Okay,
there.
I know
But it
which
didn't
one
stop
that is.
him. He went on
No.
to
That's.
score
I'm just
a
trying to
great-
make sure we get the right.
Yeah, a lot more stuff. That was when we ran the play on the right in practice,
Yep.
and we ran it on the left in the game just because they wanted it on that guy. Then I've got Greg Newsome pick 6 against the Ravens. Massive play, first interception of his career. Massive. Amari
He
touched.
came in studio with us after that, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Quite pleased.
Yeah.
Amari's touchdown against the Bears, which really should be called Flacco's throw against the Bears, which is one of the best throws I've ever seen in my entire life. I got Dustin Hopkins' game-winning field goal against the Ravens. That was money.
That one was so sweet.
Dustin Hopkins' game-winning field goal against the Steelers. I already mentioned Miles' sack to the ice week 1. Kareem Hunt's game-winning touchdown against the Colts on 4th down. We needed to score.
We threw the ball 3 times.
And then we ran it in with Kareem Hunt. Was pretty exciting.
Where is the game-winning TD? There it is.
I mean, Jake Moody missing his field goal could be on here, even though it was in a play that like we did. That was pretty exciting. Siciliano's juiced. I got
But
Cooper's
quite happy.
43-yard touchdown against the Titans. And I don't know if you remember that, but that was a play action. Deshaun threw a perfect ball, and you were like, all right, he's ripping it now. That was week 3, second half of week 3, and you're like, okay, he looks like he's back. He was on fire, and then we find out that he doesn't play the next week. But it was still at the time, and if you remember after that, he ran over to the sideline, jumped up, and chest bumped with Stefanski, and you're like, okay, we're rolling now. The Browns push against the Ravens, which is really kind of like the rugby scrum, because I just thought it was us imposing our will on them. To that same end, I have Njoku's angry run against the Ravens because it was awesome. And then the last one I have was Watson's dime to Amari against Arizona, which was Flacco's pass may have been the number 1 pass of the year. That would be 1A, where he threw it on an absolute rope, 49 yards. Amari split a double team. They talked on the sideline. They were doubling Amari every third down. He goes, I think I can just run right through it. And they're like, okay. Yeah. And he told Watson and Stefanski, said, okay, let's do it. And he did, and Deshaun threw an absolute dime. So those were the ones. Those were kind of my 12.
So you have 13. Do you have 12 or 13? I think you have 13.
13. You have 13.
The other one would be David Bell's touchdown on 4th down against the Jags because it's 4th down, and that was his first career touchdown.
And no one saw it coming.
Nobody saw it coming. Parting of the Red Sea.
So that gets us to 14. I do think that the last 2 probably need to be defensive because we're we got 2 Miles and 1 Newsome out of 14.
All right, let's go with Cam Mitchell.
So I think we need 2 defensive ones to finish because I think when you look back at the season, you're going to remember that defense.
If you're saying for exciting, Miles strip sack touchdown against the Colts, that's a defensive touchdown.
I was going to nominate that one.
And the Hickman pick 6 against the Jets.
Because of how big of a moment that was in the Colts game. We needed all of those touchdowns, including that one.
Yeah. And when you agree with that, the Hickman pick 6 against the Jets, that's got us on the board.
The other ones that are on here are Denzel's forced fumble versus the Steelers. You have the Delpit play.
Which was a great pass defense. The Cam Mitchell 4th down stop was a great one.
I was going to say.
It was a great play, but it wasn't like.
I don't think we knew right away. We were like, oh, wait.
No, I thought Jim made a great call on it. And then I was like, I think he's short. I think his knee was down. And then Jim was like, he might be short. And then sure enough, he was. That was a cute. I mean, we don't win the game without that play, so it was a monstrous play. The Mo Hurst interception, Seattle just gets a big guy interception is exciting, but it didn't lead to a victory.
Yeah. So let's go. So you want to do Hickman and you want to do the Miles strip sack?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. Yeah. I'm down with that. Do we have to seed these 1
no,
through 16?
No,
that would be tough.
We'll go ahead and put them in a bracket, and then we'll start these off tomorrow.
Just random draw 'em.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll random. Go ahead.
When you look at this, guys. I mean, you and I, the 3 of us, we've been doing this for a while. The 2 Stevies are new, but imagine how hard it would have been in certain years.
Not sure
you got 27 plays at minimum.
And there's
Zeke came up with another
more.
5.
Yeah, there's more.
There's 50 plays you could come up with and moments that you could think of, that have happened here. There's a lot to choose from, and it's not only just the notion of these are really cool plays, but we're able to kind of get to this 16, and these all had they're meaningful for victories.
Yeah. I was just saying, you could put Flacco's touchdown pass to the Chief against the Texans was such a dime. The 4th down throw where Flacco's getting sacked in the huddle, basically in the pocket, and throws a dart to the sideline that should have been pick 6. That could be on there. That was one of the craziest throws ever. You have Amari's route in that same game where it's the 3rd and 1, and we sell like we're running it, and Amari just walks at the guy like he's going to block him and then shakes him, and it was like poetry in motion. I mean, there's a lot. There was a lot of good stuff this season.
The Bears game when Alex Wright blew up that end around just came to mind.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was a huge one on a jet sweep.
That guy would have been gone for a touchdown, and A. Wright just flies in.
He might still be running. A. Wright, new nickname. I like it.
A. Wright is pretty good. I don't have a problem with that. All right,
better than being
start this
A-Wrong.
tomorrow.
We will start this tomorrow.
We'll start it tomorrow, and we'll do what we'll have is we will have the call of the play to correspond with the voting.
Correct.
There are more people walking around that I've never seen before.
No idea.
It's always when you guys don't know them, then I'm really.
Yeah. I got to tell you,
That's a lot.
Though, I've been talking with a bunch of people who didn't watch Curb until yesterday or even this morning. I kind of gave them my review, and then I think they enjoyed it more because they went in expecting less, whereas I went in with sky-high expectations because I just watched 3 of the best 10 episodes ever,
Yeah.
and it didn't muster up. So I feel like now he's
So-
lowered my expectations for the next one, which I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think our take on it was an accurate take.
Totally. We were spot on.
It's how I've seen other people say pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
I just think as soon as Maria Sophia shows up, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
like that put me in a bad headspace.
Yeah, get her out of here.
I don't need that.
So have you watched or listened to any of the Susie and Jeff pod?
No,
I think it's going to be good.
That's pretty good.
It's going to be good because it's going to go through, I think it's going through like every episode, maybe ever. Like the first one is about
they're going
kind of
all-
the idea of the show. The second one is about the special that is like launches
Okay.
the show. And then the third one, season 1, episode 1, the pants tent. So
HBO did this with Game of Thrones. They did this recently with actually Malta Sante and Bobby Bacala do an episode by episode Sopranos one where they rewatch the whole series.
holy moly.
And they did that one. So this is becoming, a little bit of a thing here. I'm guessing they did it with Succession too. Like all of their shows, they do where they.
What's
can do
Uno
those
looking
things.
at? Uno, what are you looking at?
I was wondering what you were looking at.
What was I looking at?
You were staring out the window like something was there, and I didn't see anything.
I didn't even realize I was doing that. I thought I was looking at the TV, and then I was looking at you. I think I was staring at you. You saw me staring at you, and then you were staring at nothing.
That's probably what it was.
well-oiled machine without you here, Bishop.
It was like a dog
Well,
chasing
really
its. It's
flying
like
along.
a dog chasing its. We are flying along. It's 2:20. I
From
feel like we
my
just sat
vantage
down.
point, you're staring out the window. I can't
Yeah.
see that TV from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, I see that.
Coming
Oh, yeah,
up
I'm looking
next,
at TV.
There we go. Good job.
among
Thank
other
you.
things. You're welcome. The Griff facts of the day. We've got it's not just one, multiple
Pace
facts of the day.
yourself.
We'll do the defensive side of our all 40-year team as well. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet. Sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Joel, Rod Stewart together for the first time.
You're up.
November 13th, Cleveland Browns Stadium. Tickets on sale now. Visit clevelandbrownsstadium.com/Billy and Rod 2024 for more information. It's Billy Joel and Rod Stewart together for one night only. Time for the Grift Fact of the Day. Hit it.
Fact of the day, fact of the day, fact of the day. It's the Griff Fact of the Day.
Go ahead, Uno.
It's so
I love
good.
all of this. That's so great. The fact that Uno does the
It's
read
so
is
good.
incredible. That Uno reads the Griff Fact of the Day, not Griff. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, Uno, what do you have?
We got two for today, one about each team in the Super Bowl. We'll start with the 49ers and their left tackle, Trent Williams. He has 11 Pro Bowl selections before he played in his first Super Bowl. Only 3 other players, Champ Bailey, Bruce Matthews, and Reggie White, earned as many Pro Bowl selections before playing in their first Super Bowls. Bailey and Matthews had 12, and then Reggie White also had 11.
Should Trent Williams have been considered for our team?
I thought about it.
Well, you're not bumping out Hoff or Munoz, so it's a Walter Jones, Jonathan Ogden, Trent Williams conversation.
If Trent gets one more, he'll have the most Pro Bowls of any tackle in
What about
history.
all
But
pros?
three
The
All-Pros,
not as
and
many.
only one second team.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking about.
Sorry.
what is
He's a
this?
lead, but
Thank you
Yeah.
for your time.
Yeah, we're talking about real greatness.
so Champ Bailey he never won one, right?
He did not.
Reggie did, and that was an incredibly emotional when he won with the Packers.
Yep.
So that was one where he was very well. That I remember that very specifically, the celebration of all of that, because he was kind of the first free agent.
He
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
We were the finalists.
I guess like maybe
to sign
Freeman
him.
McNeil was, if I have that right.
Yeah, but he was like
He was
in his prime. I can go wherever I want.
Yep.
Yeah, he flew here. Like, we entertained him. The city,
Yeah.
like, what can we
remember
do to help
reading-
the team sign him?
A couple of years ago when they did the 30 for 30, I remember reading the story on his. It was an SI call story about his like free agency and how he was trying to decide where to go. Wild, absolutely wild. All right, and you have a double dip, don't you, there, Uno? What's the second one?
It's the other one for the Chiefs is about Patrick Mahomes. He'll be the youngest quarterback in NFL history to ever start their 4th Super Bowl at age 28. He would also join Brady and Aikman as the only quarterbacks ever to win 3 Super Bowls before their 30th birthday.
Simply maybe the only fact that has gotten
He's
Troy
good.
Aikman into the Hall of Fame.
He's good.
Because it
Well,
wasn't
there's
his numbers.
No question. No. But that Cowboy team, it's probably a little bit like this Niners team, where there's just so
such
much
a
talent
complete
everywhere.
team. Yeah.
So complete. I mean, they had studs everywhere. Like I don't know at any position. There was a time that Eric Williams was the best tackler, Nate Newton was the best guard,
Yes.
and Haley was certainly that. And then when they got Dion, he was the best corner. But and Woodson was great. But I don't know that at any of them you would say was the best player in this position player in their sport at that time. They just had a bunch of guys who were in the top 3.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that was they were. No, Mahomes this is heavy stuff with Mahomes, and we can get in this as the week goes along. Like this
Yeah.
is rarefied air what he's trying to do here.
He's trying to be the 4th guy on the Mount Rushmore with
Yeah,
Peyton, Brady, and Montana.
yeah, and he's going to lay claim. He's starting to lay claim for he's on a path where he can start to get into the Brady Montana conversation.
Absolutely. He could usurp.
He's
Peyton.
headed there.
Yeah, he could usurp Peyton.
Yeah, he's certainly heading there at this point. Hey, Uno, ask Griff. He's a native Kansan, right?
That's correct.
How did he watch the Sunflower Showdown last night between Kansas and Kansas State? And if so, who does he root for?
He watched some of it, and I believe he is not a fan of Kansas State. He would rather root for Kansas.
Rock, chalk, Jayhawk.
But he doesn't like either one?
Doesn't sound like he has a great
He
love.
was a big Shocker fan.
Wichita State.
Yeah.
Shaka Smart.
Okay.
Big,
It's the bowling
Fred Van
aspect.
Vliet.
It's the bowling aspect.
He was a Van Vliet, Ron Baker team. We talk about that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. They got done dirty, Griff, putting them up against Kentucky when they were the 1 seed.
Yeah, outrageous.
They made Kentucky the 8. That was a joke.
It was mean
That was
field
the
goal.
Holiday
boys.
twins at Kentucky that year.
No, Harrison twins.
Harrison, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kentucky they had like Devin Booker, all those guys, but they were all kids. And they had kind of a disappointing season, but they made them the 8. And they gave Wichita State the 1 seed. They were undefeated. And then they go, here, now we'll go play a team of 6 NBA guys that underachieved. It was Bush League. All right. All right, we will do the defense on our all 40-year team coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. For car, truck, or motorcycle accident cause,
You're up.
lawyers at 1-800-ELK Ohio for a free case review. That's Elk & Elk, a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. I think this is where it's even going to get more lopsided, Z.
Yes, this is where our
the
team
defensive
crushes
side.
him.
Yeah. So, all right, we've already done our 25 on offense. We're going to do 25 on defense. Let's do what we did, and let's start up front and build out. So are we going – how do we want to do this? Do you want to go 4-3?
Let's go. Yeah, I'm thinking of kind of a 4-man front. We're gonna have the versatility to do whatever we want, but yes.
Sure.
So I've got
DN's brutal.
4 DNs that I think are locks. 3 for
Okay.
sure, and then we'll talk about if we want to have 4. We're either going to have 4 or 5 defensive ends, and then if we had 5, it would be 4 safeties. If we have 5 safeties, so there's going to be one spot that's going to either be a last safety or a last defensive end, I think.
Okay.
All right, so a defensive end.
Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith. I've got Lawrence Taylor.
So we go DN. All right. I was curious what you're going to do with LT. So, like, he's
a
all
pass
right,
rusher.
So he's DN.
Yep.
Yeah, pass rusher.
I've got LT. I got Derek Thomas.
Oofta.
Derek Thomas
So
was
fast.
so good.
So fast.
20 sacks. He had 6 sacks in one game. And then I put, this is just being fun, but I do think like he's on the trajectory. I put Myles Garrett on there because I think he's that dominant.
Okay, so I guess what you did is you put J.J. Watt and Reggie White on the interior.
Yes. So
Even though
they're
'cause they kinda-
3-4 ends,
they're
which
big
means
3-4 ends.
but that's a
Yeah.
defensive tackle.
Yeah.
A
But
3-4
there's
end
nobody
is not an edge rusher.
Yeah.
But the good news is we have the
No.
flexibility. A lot of these guys are all so good. These guys can do anything. Myles Garrett can line up inside. Bruce Smith could line up inside. So I have for defensive tackle, I have Reggie White, Aaron Donald.
All right, so your ends are Bruce Smith, Lawrence Taylor, Derek Thomas, and Miles.
Yes, and then if we're going to add a 5th, the people that I thought would be in the conversation would be Strahan, DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller, T.J. Watt, Jason Taylor were the 5 people I thought could potentially be in the conversation there.
Yeah, Von Miller feels like he would be.
He's the best. He's performed the best in big games because he dominated 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Where does Von Miller stack up with Derek Thomas on an all-pro world?
Derek Thomas only has 2 first-team All-Pros.
I know, but he was
Von Miller's
I'll
got
s-
8 Pro Bowls, 3-time all-pro.
Derek Thomas' career. Let's not forget cut short.
Derek
I
Thomas
would say-
was a 9-time Pro Bowler.
If we're talking about like
9-time Pro
our
Bowlers.
youth, like Derek Thomas was. Think about Derek Thomas was a dude.
1990s
No, he
All-Decade
totally was.
team.
Yeah, he was
DeMarcus Ware was
very good.
4-time all-pro.
Yeah, very good. Jason Taylor's very good. Strahan's very good. T.J. Watt's got a Defensive Player of the Year, and he's been very good. So just think if we want that 5th guy there or not. I mean, our 8 defensive linemen right now are ridiculous.
So it's Reggie, J.J., Donald,
And Randall, who's got like 6 or 7 first-team All-Pros.
and John Randall. Yeah, those tackles are unimpeachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got 6.
TJ's 4-time all-pro, yeah, and a Defensive Player of the Year. Probably, yeah, we're with Cleveland Browns, Miles is on it. I think Thomas. So the 5th would be Vaughn.
That's what you want, Von? So, all right, so we're going to go, if we go 5, we're going to go Von Miller.
Okay.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. All right, I'm just got to real quick. I got to think back to like Kevin Green. Those type of guys, are we
He's
missing
good, but
anybody?
I don't think they're usurping any of these guys.
They're not on that list. Of course, this would be the 85
Jared Allen
Bears.
was very good. Richard Dent was very good, but I mean, I don't know if we're
He wasn't on that level. What about Haley?
Charles Haley. So I looked up Charles Haley's number. Like he never was like the dominant pass rusher in the league.
Okay,
Like these guys have all been the dominant pass rusher in the league.
sure. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Strahan was really good too. But he just doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't feel like he was like as dominant even as like Miles, because Miles plays the run so well. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering it. Like, I'm trying to just think back to those. Like, is there anybody we're missing? Like,
Julius Peppers.
How many first team All Pros?
that's a good one, Gibby.
159 and a half sacks.
3.
Hold on.
3.
9 Pro Bowls, 3 first team All Pro. He's kind of in that same mix, you know.
With a much longer career though. That is over the course
Yeah,
of a
for sure.
much longer career.
Yeah,
Julius
I was
Peppers
trying to
is
think if I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody off like the Giants because like Charles Mann, Dexter Manley, but they didn't.
No.
They didn't have They weren't on that level.
Jared Allen, I
we'll
thought
get to-
was Jared Allen. I mean, led the league in sacks a couple times.
He was a
I think you have the right.
Jared
you have
Allen
the
was a
right ones.
4-time first-team All-Pro,
Yeah, Jared Allen was very good.
5-time Pro Bowler.
Okay. All right. Well, let's count. All right. So we have 8 right now, potentially 9. I think this is all fine.
Yep. I think.
All right. So now linebacker.
I got 6.
So
Singletary.
you combined outside and inside here, right?
these are the off-ball linebackers.
This is just off-ball linebacker.
so they can play
Singletary.
linebacker. They
This
can
is-
go play special. This is loaded.
where it's
Singletary,
ridiculous.
Ray Lewis,
Ray Lewis.
Bobby Wagner, Junior Seau, Derek Brooks, Patrick Willis.
Good Lord.
Willis's
Singletary,
resume
Lewis.
is better than Zach Thomas's.
Well, Patrick Willis should be a Hall of Famer.
It's better than Urlacher's.
Yes.
Singletary,
Singletary,
Lewis.
Ray Lewis, Bobby Wagner, Patrick Willis. Who are your other two?
Seau,
Oh God.
and Derek Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's crazy.
craziness. This guy's throwing Teddy Bruschi on his team. No offense.
No.
There has to be.
Hold on.
I think we know.
I
it is.
just
think
don't
what he tried to do
understand.
is he tried to do too much. He tried to do. These are guys who are really important to me that I really like, and these are the all-time greats. And he tried to do too much.
He's going to have people like Raina Thompson on his special teams unit, and we're going to have Derek Brooks.
Bobby Wagner chasing down.
Yes. Like, what are we talking about? All right, corners. I got 6.
Prime
Yes.
Chuck.
Yes.
Prime Chuck. Darryl Green would have to be on there, wouldn't he?
So I did not have
he-
Darryl Green on. He was 7th.
Champ.
Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey for sure. Yeah.
So I had Dion, Revis, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Richard Sherman.
Rod Woodson can play safety too.
He has the ability, so we can.
And
I
so
think
does Chuck.
we can trim safety and get an extra pass rusher because of that fact. But Rod Woodson, actually, if you look at the majority of his Pro Bowls and first team All Pros, all came while he was a corner. So he is very much a real corner.
Oh yeah, I mean he was on the All NFL 75-year team at corner.
Yes.
He played for the
The Steelers.
but I mean he played for the Ravens as a safety.
Yeah, that
towards
was
the end
late.
of his
Yeah.
career.
What was the
Darryl
line?
Green just won All Pro, 7
Yeah.
Pro Bowls. He
Yeah.
played forever.
It's Champ was better than him. Dion Revis, I think it's a pretty good list. Champ Bailey was a beast. What did he make? 12 Pro Bowls, and he has a couple All Pro, first team All Pros.
3-time All Pro.
And what was
Yeah.
Richard Sherman? Richard Sherman for a while was the best cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah, and 3-time All Pro. Just 5 Pro Bowls though for Sherm.
Because it was a brief period. I also like the fact that he's like the best zone corner, so he gives us a little
Yeah.
versatility there. So I think we can lose. I'll give you my 4 safeties that I think are locks and I would fight anybody on. And then
Lott and Reed start.
Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott, Palomalu, Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins was unbelievable. So the extras that I had, if we were doing 5 safeties, I had Steve Atwater because I just remember him being so feared.
Yeah.
And he has a good number of first-team All-Pros and all of that. And then John Lynch has, I think, 5 first-team All-Pros. But I think our
Lynch does.
I think our DBs are like I think we'd rather have another pass rusher just so we can cycle them through. Like we have
Lynch
6
is
corners,
just 2 All Pros.
just 2. Okay,
9-time Pro Bowler.
we have 6 corners, 4 safeties, and 2 of our corners can also play safety.
Brian Dawkins, first team All Pro 4 times, 1 second team, 9-time Pro Bowler, NFL 2000s All
unreal.
Decade team.
Yeah, Dawkins is unreal.
Number 20 is retired by the Eagles.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Oh, he was a beast. Yeah.
This is where our team.
Good Lord. Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed starting is just terrifying.
He had Honey Badger, and we have Ronnie Lott and Brian Dawkins. No offense to Honey Badger, but give me a break.
So yeah, I'm fine with those 4 safeties, those 6 corners. So you have 10 back there, and then you get the extra pass rusher,
Yeah. So you go Von Miller there.
Vaughn.
So
Yeah,
and
I
for
would- I would
Miles,
probably do
Von, 2 Texas A&M guys.
Yeah. Is there anybody we're missing from the mid 80s to the mid 90s, that stretch? Like, is there anybody there?
Like that's why
trying to
I
remember
pulled
those-
Singletary from. He didn't even have Singletary.
Well,
Peter
yeah,
King,
that's-
which is
Mike, come on.
wild.
Yeah, I mean Singletary's got to be the
That's where I pulled Steve
he's
Atwater.
He's a 7-time All-Pro.
Of course.
Like Singletary.
Yes.
Howie
Yeah, like-
Long.
I
just don't think he's on that level.
I know he was great. I don't have a great recollection of him. 2 All-Pros, 8-time Pro Bowler. I don't think he could break into our defensive line. I don't think we're missing anybody corner-wise that I would. I mean, there's no one's breaking into that corner room.
No. I mean, Jalen Ramsey would be more of a modern guy who's been very, very good.
Sure. Chucky Woodson, only 3-time All-Pro.
Which is wild to me. He's Chucky Wood. That's not even a
9
question.
Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros. He was the AP Defensive Player of the Year once,
Yeah.
and then Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
So the list I'm looking at,
Yeah.
the Browns' Frank Minifield's on it. Didn't realize 3-time All-Pro, first team All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowl selection. I didn't.
Yeah.
Again, is it good enough to make that
wouldn't have
list?
had the-
No,
yeah.
but I
That's good.
wouldn't have had that.
It's good. So then that gives us 50. And then our specialists, Leckler, I do agree with him as the best punter. I would take Justin Tucker over Vinatieri, me personally.
Yeah, I think if you're on just Vinatieri never missed a kick that mattered ever.
I mean, Tucker hadn't
He
missed.
hit the one in the snow. He won 2 Super Bowls on his leg.
Yeah.
Like that's
I think he's really good. I just think if I had a kick to be
he's
made,
more talented.
Peak
Yeah,
Justin
Tucker's
Tucker.
more talented, but
he never
it's
missed
funny,
in the
like, when
second half. He has like all NFL records for most makes in
Oh, I
second
know.
half or fourth quarter or overtime when trailing. Maybe he had
Sure.
that 60-yarder in Detroit
he just
to walk
doesn't
off.
have the Super Bowl stuff.
Or the
Like to win championship games or that he just doesn't have that because they haven't been in those spots.
Yeah.
so we go Vinatieri.
I mean,
I think we have to.
I don't know, dude. It's just
I feel
How
like
many
it's probably,
big
I think
moments?
it's Vinatieri. I think it's good Lord. I mean, the field goal kick he hit to win their first Super Bowl, he kicked for 20. I mean, he kicked from 2006. I'm sorry, 1996 until
how many
22?
how many first team All Pros does he have?
jeez to 19. Good Lord. 3 first team All
All right, so
Pros.
he's got 3 first team All Pros.
4-time Super Bowl champ.
He is for his career.
Is he undefeated in the Super Bowl?
For his career, he's an 84% kicker, and he is 45 of 72 from 50 plus. 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All Pro.
I'm sure there's no doubt Tucker's going to win the stats game, but if you do that, you can do that with like Tracy McGrady versus Larry Bird. Like it's some, you know, and I'm not comparing
why
the
is
two.
why I don't see how
I'm
that's
just saying
apples
that-
to apples. Why he's kicking the ball
What I'm
through
saying
the uprights?
is
what's different?
because you also have the stage with Vinatieri and the pressure. That's a pressure job. It's not Tucker's fault. Like I'm not going to go to war for having having Vinatieri over Tucker. I'm just saying like I watched in-person Vinatieri win a field goal win a Super Bowl in the same year that he kicked the ball in a snowstorm that nobody could see anything, and he made it.
that's
He
fine.
won the Super Bowl 3 times, didn't he? On his leg.
Tucker is a 1-time Super Bowl champion, by the way. Tucker
And
5-time.
Vinatieri won
5-time
01, 02 Super Bowl, 01 Super Bowl on his leg. Then he won the one when they beat Carolina on his leg, and the Snow Bowl game on his leg.
I mean,
Sheesh, that's
Tucker's
clutch.
the
I think he's
all-time
been to
leader
6 Super Bowls.
in field goal percentage history.
6 Super Bowls for Vinatieri.
Isn't that the job? Make the kick. Guy's made 90% of his kicks for his career. He's the best ever from 50 plus.
Yeah, okay, go to war for it. I'm not going to fight you on it. I don't
I'll
care
take
that much, but I'm just saying, like the clutchness of Vinatieri is part of it.
Plus Peter King has Vinatieri.
Part of it.
So that bores me.
All right, there you go. So you went to war for a Raven. So there you go. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns.
What about our
Daily on
long
850
snapper?
ESPN Cleveland. Nope. All right, do we want to go Matthews at center?
You're up.
We want to have the best long snapper.
So I don't even know who the best long snapper is. Rick Gosselin.
Charlie Hewlett.
That's what I had. I had Charlie Hewlett written down, and then Rick Gosselin, who is considered the special teams authority. He puts his special teams rankings. He said the best long snapper of all time was Steve Diassi. Now they didn't even have all pros for long snappers until like 4 years ago.
Okay.
So there's not even
sure
any
they
way
just-
to look at it.
Probably was. How long has it been a specialized thing where you were like
1 minute, 1 minute.
your specialization long snapper?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, like when you said Matthews was the long snapper, I'm sure they just said you're the center. Snap to him.
I mean, if he could do it, we'd much rather have that spot go for like
So tell
Atwater or
tell
Lynch.
the people that's what I'm talking about. So let's have Matthews do it,
Okay.
and then Atwater can just headhunt on special
Oh my
teams.
goodness gracious, flying down number 20.
Just full speed. So he can have his Raina Thompson, and he can have those guys on the specialists.
Steve Atwater
Steve Tasker,
is gonna squish them like bugs.
and we'll just go Atwater missile.
And Bobby Wagner and Ray Lewis and Willis and Derek Brooks,
Chucky Woodson chasing down
Ronnie Lott,
Terrell
Dawkins,
Owens.
Palamalu.
30.
Harold Owens as a gunner.
I don't think they're ever. They might not gain a yard. His team might not gain a yard returning, and the irony is going to be he has 5 people who are just to be on his special teams team, and they're all just going to get abused by ours.
He's got Chris Hogan blocking on special
Chris
teams. though.
Hogan.
Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan.
Atwater coming at him. Good luck. Next level is next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.